else. Everything costs money, and I don't know why churches wouldn't be.
Knowledge doesn't cost money. Awareness doesn't
Well, it
cost
costs
money.
money to buy books to read things.
Sampling the immediacy of your life doesn't cost anything. Being alive doesn't cost anything.
No,
that is this whole thing that people...
It doesn't cost that much, but it costs something. But you get back and reward.
Again, a political
God
nature,
rewards you.
A political question that's coming up more and more. There used to be people who would say, the fact that you are born means that you belong here. There is even that poem, Desiderata. Whether you understand it or not, the universe is unfolding as it should, and you belong here. There are those, however, who say, you only belong here if you can pay for it.
I think giving of ourselves,
can't pay for it,
I found when I got married that giving of yourself is, you get back as much as you give, if not more, in return when you give of yourself to other people and your work. And I seem to do better in my left brain, my work and my education, rather than my family and my church. But I try and make a balance between both of them, because
that does seem to be true. That's one of the irrevocable laws of the universe. That what goes around comes around, and there's
because I believe deeply in karma. I think that you reap what you sow, and I don't think that. I'm not a Christian, but I respect Christians because they have good marriages and they have a happy life. I think that I study deep ideas, and I like spiritualism and ESP and stuff like that. And I think karma is more of a truth, because I think you reap what you sow. Because Christ forgives sins, but I don't think God forgives you if you make a mistake. I think you have to pay for it. But I think that God rewards you, and I don't think you need Christ to go to heaven. But I think they're good people, Christians, and I think that I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it helps your marriage, and I see some of the happiest people are, because they have some of the best marriages, Christians. And
Dale, this plugs back into the individual again, because the individual has a host of things from which to choose to be influenced by. And as you say, Christianity in the United States, for example, there is Christianity, there is religious freedom, there's all sorts of philosophies
so many things,
and religions.
Because the pilgrims come here from Holland to worship God. And
people can be affected
by.
And
Scorpio, United States, antisocial behavior and drug taking, but it's also religious freedom. And when we go to church, we ask, because I think in England, I don't think they have as much freedom. Most places they don't have many varieties of churches, and I don't think they like the Eastern religions as well in England as they do in the United States.
We got to be careful about that now. We find ourselves moving into political areas. And,
that's true too. I mean, I think that's the strength of America. We turn to God. I think that's what we need to do, is turn to God more with this drug taking and all this stuff. Because that was Kierkegaard's leap of faith. When you go to church, you start feeling those things. You start working in your life. I go to the Quaker church because I believe in all religions, but I believe deeply in God, and we sit there for an hour in silence, and if God guides us, we get up and speak, and people's auras seem to intermix with each other, and I think the Holy Spirit, if you want to call it that, we call it the inner light, and we don't call it a church, we call it a meeting house, but that comes down upon you and it protects you during the week. And they say they've done EEG readings of people's brains, and they found that when they're worshiping together, their brains are connected together, and they're in more harmony. And they found that around churches there isn't so much violence and crime around a church.
That's a good thing for us to pay attention to, the harmony that can occur when individuals group together.
Yeah, in harmony, worshiping together. And I think that works in a Christian church too, like Mormons and stuff like that.
Wouldn't that be a human thing?
Yeah, I think.
I mean, that's kind of that doesn't have anything to do with religion. That's a human thing.
Yeah.
So that.
But I think religion is a part of life, just like philosophy, science, and art. There's the 4 different fields of knowledge. Philosophy comes first, Aquarius, and then science and Taurus and Earth, and philosophy and Aquarius and air, and then fire and emotions and art and Leo, and then you have Scorpio and water and religion and depth, and they all interconnect, and we need the religion. And
well, these are expressive factors of the social interactions that humans have created in the past 20, 30, 40,000 years or so.
Well, that's when they started getting the soul, because our soul is more advanced. We don't have slavery, and women have the right to vote, and we don't have we haven't had capital punishment. I guess the United States sometimes, but most countries don't have capital punishment. So we're more advanced than we used to be. And
Do you think humans are getting better?
I think they are. I think their souls advance through karma. I think their karma, they overcome evil and they become more perfect. And I think the world is becoming more one.
And so you think that if you were to select out random individuals, say 10,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, a couple hundred years ago, and today, and kind of compare them in terms of their ability to be kind, to understand others, tolerance, this sort of thing.
We advanced too culturally, because we advanced from hunters and gatherers and type O blood type to type A and agriculturalists, and then in cities, and then we advanced to industrialism and type B blood type and the Industrial Revolution, and then we're advancing now to type A, B blood type and the information society, information gathering, where people do research and science like I'm doing, and they advance knowledge more, and it's computers and stuff like that.
So you think, it sounds like you're kind of suggesting that the technological development is an expression of the sociological, or rather spiritual, evolution.
Yeah, I think spiritual and physical and cultural both. I think we need all those things. That's what my ideas are. A theory of everything. That's on my website. You look for ideas by Dale Freeman on Teoma or Ask Jeeves on those search engines, and I'm listed first by anybody in Europe by ideas by Dale Freeman, and they can contact me by www.dalefreeman@usfamilynet.net, and I'll be glad to talk to people if I just don't get too many calls.
Okay, well, let's we've been talking about just the individual and some of the things that happen in individual experience.
Yeah.
What about individuals